the title, Bing?
Uh, I feel like it's embedded, something that's been embedded over a long time, you know. I feel like it's hard to judge, a whole race of people because there's so many different, you know, different ethnicities and stuff. They're all black, but there's different. So you see the black people in East Africa, they're different from, the black people in West Africa and so on. So it's hard to just judge a whole race, but I feel like it's something that's been embedded. But I like the title though.
It's an open floor, y'all.
Man, how y'all doing, family? What's going on, No Mo? What's going on, y'all?
What's up,
Room?
IQ?
How
We
y'all doing?
back. We back, IQ.
Yo,
I hear you. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. So
I
we
know you
we'll
got some
tackle.
bars, IQ. Come on, wake it up,
Man,
bro.
you already know I got some fire to spit on this. Cause I love my black people. I'm a black man first. Before anything else. So encompassing this question, why are black people so attracted to toxicity? Because it's normal, right? It's normal. Why is it normal? Haven't we been slaves? Haven't we been enslaved? I know here in the South where I am, I'm not sure of anybody else's
You
story.
got
You
low,
got low
IQ.
IQ. I'm not sure of anybody else's story, but I know where I am in the South, there have been those plenty of stories of the Jim Crow South, right? There have been plenty of stories of even that I heard from my grandfather, whom was 92 when he passed. But he would tell me about our ancestors actually following a slave.
Nigga, fuck your grandfather and your ancestors. Nigga, gangster.
Okay, all right.
Go ahead, IQ. That ain't never even happened, bro.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Hey, yeah, he would tell me about those stories, right? About our ancestors and having to deal with slavery. So the reality is that we are in a current dynamic in this place, speaking from an American standpoint, of where our very essence has been a one that has been basically brutalized. It has been hijacked, right? A lot of our traditions and cultures, what you find is a lot of people have stolen those things that we've utilized to sustain and cultivate our own quality of life. They've now taken those things to help, their organizations, their missions. So what we see as black people, the whole world has shitted on us. You understand? Like Dr. John Henry Clark said, he said, if you're looking for a friend, you need to look in the mirror, because a lot of times we look to go hold everybody else's hands. We look to now embed ourselves in such a human experience where we kind of lack the capacity to be able to consciously engage what the black experience is. You understand? And inside engaging that, we are at a place where we are seeing that there are small hat groups, Jewish folks, that are controlling the record industries, right? So we do know and understand that when we're talking about the promoting of the toxicity, now somebody is growing their economy off somebody else's toxic approach, right? Even in toxic buying, we'll say if somebody's taking toxic economic approaches, right? I'm pretty sure you will stay broke a lot, right? So you're not going to be more substantially healthy, right, for your pocketbook, for the well-being of your family. So ultimately, toxicity is a thing that feeds this economy. You understand? Me and you fighting no more, rather than us building, right, and working on a business plan together. Us fighting is far more profitable, because with me and you both going to jail, right, that's probably like 15,000 for your bond, 15,000 for my bond. versus both of us, now staying out the way of trouble. You understand? You have to look at the industrial prison complex, how a lot of people are looking to basically um um and a lot of, like I say, a lot of the people, small hats, Jews, white folks, they're looking to basically throw us in jail for nothing. You understand? So therefore somebody has a growing need for us to be toxic towards one another, toxic to each other. You understand what I'm saying? So it allows someone to win, you know, so we have to get outside of those things for ourselves, I say, and start defining our own reality rather than allowing other things and someone else to define our reality. Because like Dr. Brother Ashra Kwesi, he said, if we're not careful, our enemy will become our deity. So what do we think it would look like when your enemy becomes the very thing that you're exalting and you're praising and you're lifting up? We should definitely know that a toxic environment is definitely upon us.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely think it's normalized. And what made me come up with this title is, I went to the hallway and it's horrible. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. And one of the spaces I end up getting a mod in. When I say it was like 100 something people in there, man, but it's so toxic, man. I can't. I could only do it for so long. I was literally in there for about 30 minutes, man, and it made me think about this. Like, why are so many of our people attracted to toxicity? I do agree with you, IQ. I think a lot of it's normalized, and so we think a lot of this shit is okay, bro. But yeah, man, it's an open floor, y'all.
People like chaos
But why?
because
I'm gonna say,
they don't have anything else going on in life, so they look for chaos.
and I'm gonna say this: chaos, somewhat what we call chaos or the toxicity, is it pops more, so it's more action there. You understand? So ultimately, energy itself prefers like where it's going to be utilized. And energy doesn't really discriminate. You understand what I'm saying? It just pops. So I think a lot of times when we're talking about having more peaceful environments, this isn't the stuff that's now going to go back and forth and this, that. You understand? We're just thinking about a classroom where people are peacefully engaged, and then this other classroom where people are smoking, where people are fighting. You probably got about 5 or 6 fights going on. You got a lot of shit going on. You understand? And at the end of the day, if you ask like whoever is cleaning up the rooms and they say, well, they're wondering which one was the more energetic, which one was there more action. It's going to be that one where they had all kind of shit going on. They got like, damn, chairs over here. They got bags. They got this. They got shit all over the place. So I think it's those things are very, very important to consider. Just because it's a thing that pops, and people like pop. Just us as people, we like pop, but we like action. We like the light, even coming to the light versus, you would look at peace as being, somewhat synonymous to the darkness. You understand? To the stillness. You look at peace. You get a lot of peace when you are in a meditative state, when with your eyes closed, versus you're now having the opposite experience of having and engaging with light, and now seeing this and seeing that and being aware of certain things. Like this now opens up that realm to get yourself into something. And that's what we came to life to do, is to get ourselves into some shit. But ultimately we're doing so to learn, and we're learning the importance of peace, and of course going away from toxicity.
Also, a lot of people just grew up in dysfunctional households around dysfunctional people, so they seek out dysfunction in their lives. So they're attracted to toxic things.
Absolutely, where it's normalized, basically, where it's normal. A lot of children that are growing up watching Sexy Red, watching Black Youngster, watching whoever else it is on TV, because it's normalized. These are the people that they see on the BET Awards. So black culture is fucking toxic. That's what I'm gonna say. What we call black culture is actually black anti-culture. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a thing that now promotes degeneracy. It promotes toxicity. It promotes and glamorizes people that are negative. That are very toxic. I think Future. How many people like Future, right? How many people like Future in the world? He's popular. And his name, another title for him is actually Toxic King, the Toxic King. So that shows and says a lot to where we are and where we find ourselves. But this is the spiritual approach in life, is to actually, get yourself out of the curses, get yourself away from the toxicity, to now make yourself clean before you actually leave this place. You understand? Being able to inspire growth inside others, to be peaceful, to be harmonious, to preserve and protect your nature. These are things that are very, very important. And I feel like we will get to, but it is a voyage. It's a search. We have to, as what they say in the church, we have to study to show ourselves approved. So we have to keep searching for that peace, for the things that give you peace, for the things that feed into peace. We have to be very, very adamantly functional in that.
Hey, IQ. So I think, or no, I think that was V Rose who said that. V Rose, you said they like chaos, right? So does that mean? Would you say that mean they don't want peace?
Hmm. They don't know what peace is,
Okay.
or peace is boring. Peace means stagnancy. Um, I once had a client, one of my very first clients. He was addicted to chaos. He would intentionally cause chaos in his life because he felt like that's how he created change in his life. So he would intentionally create dysfunction because he felt stagnant if he wasn't in a state of chaos.
Coach, what's up, Coach? Go ahead, IQ.
I was just saying that was pretty interesting. I guess that would kind of give, and shed light to the various types of people there are. There are people that like hot, temperatures, and some people that like the very opposite of hot, cold. You got some people that like peace, and you got some people that like action, chaos. You know what I'm saying? You got some people that are very timid. They won't engage, and you got the opposite of some people, they will turn it up. They will get engaged. So I guess that shows the various potentials within the creator itself, and how we have our own portion or access to these portions within that. That's very interesting. Because I guess on the other foot, you could have people that are fed by peace. They're just looking to, they probably will allow people to take advantage of them if it means that it's going to create peace. So is there importance within the fine line or the balance of the two? Within chaos and chaos and the peace. Us being able to recognize, because if you don't come from chaos, you can't recognize when chaos is coming to you, right? And if you're all peaceful, how can you say when someone is coming to potentially threaten or bring harm to you and your family? So I guess you would have to have a level of knowledge, right, of the chaos, but you're not utilizing the knowledge to engage within it, as you are feeding to the chaos, but you are ready if chaos sticks its damn head up. You would know how to engage it. Like even with knowing how to fight. You understand what I'm saying? You could be a peaceful person, such and such, but it's very important to know how to fight. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're peaceful, someone could come to cause harm to you, cause harm to you and your family, and 100% you have the right to protect and preserve your peace, right? Even if it comes down to being chaotic, or what people would see as being chaotic, they would call it chaotic. But if you were trying to ward off a stranger from getting in your house, yeah, it might look like a whole fucking fiasco, but the reality is that you're working hard to protect your level of peace, and I think we all have the right to do so. Coach DC, Sade, is it Sadie or Sade?
Sade, hey Sade, welcome back.
Yeah, it's Sade. Hey guys.
Hey, 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 how you doing? How's your night going?
Yo, I swear, what you were saying hit home for me because earlier today, child, I feel like I had to defend myself in the situation. And I'm not even the type to be starting problems or causing them. All I want is peace.
So what do y'all think of hmm, what do y'all think of break people out of that, like out of wanting the toxicity or just being attracted to it?
I think when they experience peace, like what IQ said, like once you experience peace, you never go back to like toxicity.
The reality is that you have to work hard to support. So you have to be knowledgeable of what peace is, what peace looks like, and then be able to appreciate it, be able to compliment it, right? Just engage in it, and that's where you find culture. Culture is very important because your culture is there to encourage or suggest or help advise you, right? When your mother is not around, while your father is not around, right? To advise you on the right way to be. You understand? That's where this music comes into play, right? The person that controls the music, they understand the importance of doing so to keep you at a place where we're fighting each other, right? Because they know if we're peaceful, harmonious amongst each other, then we'll start taking over shit. And those very people that have been keeping us oppressed for all this time, they don't want us to take over shit. So they want to keep us as slaves, discombobulated, fighting each other when there's a bigger war going on. You understand? So, just taking the time out and having the working mechanisms in your culture that are going to advise you, that are going to remind you the excitement, the importance of meditating, right? Stealing away, going to that secret prayer closet, as my grandmother would call it. Not just praying for a few minutes, but if you're actually having this engagement, you should be there for a little while. You should be okay with closing your eyes and not seeing the TV, not hearing the radio, not hearing anybody for an hour, 2 hours. You understand? I think that in itself really teaches you what peace is. being wayward from all of the action, right? From all of the frequencies. You understand? You're turning everything off and decompressing. You're going outside. You're going next to the water. You understand? With your shoes off, you're grounding. You're just taking breaths of fresh air as the most important thing. You understand? Do you know how many people are now in the hustle of life that don't ever really get a chance to sit back and, focus and appreciate that one breath that really leads to the next breath, that leads to the next breath, that leads to the next breath? You understand what I'm saying? And the blessings that brings. You understand? That's the level of peace. But a lot of people are not grateful. So they're like, the hell with that. I don't care about breathing. I want me a Mercedes. I want me a bag. I want me whatever the new watch is. You understand what I'm saying? You want all these material things, which ultimately are toxic. They're feeding somebody that is not you, ultimately on the inside. And that level of peace does allow you to get back to that person whom is you, without all of the fucking the glitz and the glamour and all of the fucking trinkets and all these other damn things. Even the people that you now associate with, that you call your friends or even your family, is putting you at a place where it's just you. It's just you. And that's the place a lot of people can't deal with. A lot of people look at that as being fucking toxic. They look at that as, ooh, shit, hell no. Because then that's when you have to turn over a lot of those things that haven't been turned over in a long time. But there's where you get the restoration. There is where you really substantially get your peace.
Hefe, Miles, welcome back.
Hello.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Fine. Working, so probably won't be saying much. How are you all doing?
Oh, we good. Discussing the title.
A title? Give me one.
Do you have anything to add, sis, on why you feel like, or if you think that black people are attracted to toxicity? And if you do see it that way, why do you feel like it is that way?
Well, we've been attracted to toxicity because we've been, and I hate to bring it back to this, but we've been conditioned for this kind of thing. It's a systematic thing, so that's what we know. I hate to be like, oh, the slaves or whatever, but literally that's what's going on. We've been conditioned to, like, even with like buck breaking things like that. Look at our men as less masculine. We've been. Hold on, give me a second, because I'm kind of doing two things at once. I will say that we did have a period where black people kind of stuck together, but and another thing, when the white folks saw that we were sticking together, they stepped in to make sure that we weren't. So they introduced things like the welfare programs and things like that, and they would make sure that we weren't able to have men in the houses. And it's just a systematic thing. It just trickled down to us, and we don't know how to manage it.
Damn, 100% agree with you. I guess, I don't know if people are aware, right? Because I was aware, but I wasn't really aware. When you're talking about the book breaking, right? A lot
Hmm.
of people throw that around. But these motherfuckers actually really had, if you're talking about toxicity, where the fuck it started at. These crackers really had, and, not really trying to, demean anyone. But there's a level of convicted compassion that I have as someone that is conscious and aware. And I do realize that these things have been done to our ancestors. And we ask them, well, why are we at a place where we are discombobulated? Where we are fooled into thinking that we are enemies to each other. You
Hmm.
understand? There's a buck breaking wheel that these white folks would bring the black man to this buck breaking wheel, and in that they would straddle him out, basically like an X on his stomach, right? And he would be strapped down, his arms, both of his legs, like wide,
Ugh,
right?
all right.
And they would rape him in front of his family, right?
It's too much.
And this is a level of education. Of course, that shit hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes when this toxicity lies dormant within you, as it does with inside DNA, right? That's what DNA
Mm-hmm.
does, right? Carries these traumatic experiences, and although you may not be educated on them, dormantly they are acting some kind of way. So
Yeah.
rather than you're getting some type of repair from that toxicity, from that trauma, it only just plays itself out where you're now, you know, creating and impeding somebody else, bringing trauma and toxicity to someone else. You understand? Because someone else has dumped it on you, and these things are very important as you ask, when you were saying, just speaking about the current dynamic, and we're just speaking about how the system looks to impression. I think I said that earlier, with us being toxic, they're able to sell us more products with the toxic mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
With the opposite of toxic, your ass ain't polluted. So that means your mind isn't dirty, your mind isn't in the gutter. So imagine which type
Yeah.
of mentality is the better customer. The one whose mind is in the gutter has a toxic mind, or the opposite, whose mind is healthy,
I
right?
never thought of
Substantially
that.
healthy, right? So
Of
when you're
products
talking
being
about
sold.
which one the economy needs one more so than the other. It needs a toxic mind. It needs somebody who is going to be unconscious, whom is just going to emotionally engage and just say, fuck it, brutal. I'm going to shoot up this and I'm going to do this. Now there's more taxation on that type of behavior. Now we're going to lock your ass up, and we're going to have you working for us in the industrial prison system. So therefore,
Mm-hmm.
your ass is going to be a
That's
slave.
another slave.
Right. You're going to be a slave by another name. You understand what I'm saying? So, of course, this is constantly perpetuating the same thing that made this world or this America what it is today. And that's us being toxic. Because we saw what happened when we got together in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. They bombed that shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They
They
were
don't want us to have
they
anything
were toxic
positive.
on us. America was toxic to us. It
Mm-hmm.
bombed itself. You understand? And therefore, wouldn't that create an environment where we like, well, damn, when we try to build, damn, we see these motherfuckers try to fuck it up anyway. So we just gonna tear shit up. You understand? And ultimately those things are constantly happening, like you say, within the systematic oppression of mind, systematic toxicity that is even being put in our children before they
Yep.
even come here.
Yep. So we don't mean to be toxic. It's just indoctrinated in us. That's what we know.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
So I did this YouTube video, and it was on
Hey,
strongholds and principalities.
brother coach, I want to hear you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
You seem
Yeah.
kind of distant from the phone, brother. You got some stuff to drop, so we
Is that
all
better?
ears, brother. Yeah, I think it is, brother. You go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I did this YouTube video on my channel called Strongholds and Principalities. And whenever I do things, I break things down to the etymology of the word, where it came from, and most of the words came from like the 14th century, 16th century, etc. And so I was doing principalities and strongholds, and I broke down the principalities and strongholds of what they were. Strongholds are simply your beliefs. Principalities are simply your identities. And I started looking at it, and I started saying, so what strongholds are you keeping from your family that you didn't know you had? And my wife brought one up one day. She was like, "Yo, why are you so angry at your daughter? Why do you speak to her or act like this when she gets you angry?" So I started looking at it, and I got real quiet, and I was like, where did this shit come from? So if anybody knows what intuition is simply memories that you don't remember. It's still in your system. That's why it's your intuition, because it's still there. They're still telling you the same thing, but you don't remember those memories. And but if you get quiet enough and actually do some meditation and can go back in yourself, you can find your memories. And one of the memories I remember is my mom's reaction to me as a child. And I started looking at that and I was like, okay, so did this reaction help me? No. Did this reaction help your daughter? No. So what's the first thing you got to do? You have to change your response. It's like I was talking to a young kid today. I was like, listen, your responsibility or responsibility itself is your ability to respond. I said, well, your mom asks you to go clean up your room. Do you respond by going to clean up your room, or do you respond by creating a big huff about it? If you create a big huff about it, guess what? You just create drama, and it's going to be there. That's the energy that you're going to leave. But if you go clean up your room, you got the shit done. And when you responded by cleaning up your room, you set your habit. Now, when your mom says go clean up your room, if you said it once, you do it twice, most likely you'll do it 3 times. You'll continue to do it every time. You get to set your own habits by your response to life's trials and tribulations. And so when I was teaching them this, I was like, your response is your responsibility. Your response. Well, how does your dad respond to your mom? How does he respond when he's frustrated? What you will see is they will do this response over and over again because they built this response up within themselves. When she says it this way, I get angry. And as long as I continue that response, I will just continue that response every time until I check myself and say, wait a minute, this ain't working. This is not getting the results that I want. So maybe I should change not only the words I use, but the tones I use when she gets this way and change the whole game. And so the next time my daughter came, and I remember this, she got me frustrated again. I looked at her and I got real quiet, and I realized something really quick. I'm like, wait a minute. This is what happens every time. Every time you come in here and do this, I get frustrated. But then after a while, I speak through that frustration. I choose words through that frustration. And when she showed me that the first time, I was like, wait a minute. Not only do I do that once, I do that all the time. I am constantly speaking through my feelings. It's not just feeling and thought. I'm constantly speaking through my feelings. So I'm constantly thinking through my feelings. So when I get that feeling again of being frustrated, being angry with my 5-year-old at the time, now I check myself and say, okay, so those words that are coming up right now from this frustration are not the proper response. I need to go back, understand she's a 5-year-old, understand I was once a 5-year-old, and do this response again. Because that response is not getting the results I want. And the thing is, when I understood that with her, I said, okay, so now what I got to do is actually got to go back and look at all my responses. I got to look at my response to my wife, to my mom, to my mother-in-law, to my job, to my finances, to all of these things. And I got to make sure that all of these responses are mine. What I mean by that is most of our responses are not ours. Most of those are things that we pick